basically show us that we're going to be seeing some Colossus. But for now, an Immortal or two. Oh no, he just cancelled that Immortal. So Shinn here is not been pressured at all by the Terran, so he is feeling free to build up. I mean, he does have a lot of minerals and gas, but instead of making an expansion, he is just going to pump up more of an army, as he sees that Pmak himself has not really expanded and is walled in with just a couple of Marauders and a bunch of Marines. The Tech Lab and the Core Reactor is on for both of these, so we're going to be looking at pretty much a Marine Marauder and a tank push once again, like we did see in Game 1. Pretty exciting to watch as Pmak is supply blocked here. If the Terran can push out slowly and sort of just, you know, contain the Protoss in his base and just sort of set up shop as he moves out slowly across the map with the tanks. And let's see if he's able to do that. He will be sending a couple of Marines down here just to see if there's an expansion. And to his surprise, well, maybe not to his surprise, but anyway, there isn't an expansion. Will these Marines be hit a bit? Yeah, so they're gonna take a little bit of damage as they lure out the entire ground force, which just consists of a couple, a sentry and a bunch of stalkers at the moment. The Warp Prism is out, as well as this Colossus coming out soon, so we may be seeing some, I don't know, Colossus drops, which is kind of cool to watch as you can keep dropping it over and over. As Pmak here has moved out with his initial force, there is a tank in this mix, so this tank will be able to drive back these Protoss players. Stimpak is just being researched, so he doesn't have Stimpak quite yet, but that Colossus is going to come flank from the top here. Will that Colossus be able to do a bunch of damage? It is going to fry off a bunch of Marines. That tank does not have siege research yet, so it's going to go down and not really be able to splash a whole lot of units. Now that entire force there by Pmak was wiped, and more reinforcements are coming for Shinn, and Pmak is left with just a couple of Marauders and Marines here. This is a great opportunity for Shinn to push out, and if he was to push out, maybe put a probe here. There he is, putting the pylon down here. If he does continue to push out right now, as he moves his observer just a little bit down, he'll be able to see that Pmak really doesn't have anything here, and that missile turret is actually placed down here, so he can sneak the observer just to this area here and be able to see the production facilities. Is Siege almost finished? Actually, Siege is just been started, so let's see how this plays out here, as this shuttle here is going to be carrying that Colossus here. So the initial push by Shinn, actually Shinn just sees that he doesn't have an expansion as well, so he figures I'm playing a one base Terran as well, so let's see what I can do. He decides to move back a little bit as Pmak is going to move down once again. Pmak is not going to see Shinn's army here because he is on the high ground, and unfortunately, oh, never mind. Pmak does spot Shinn's army, and will he push forward? He will take a look at this pylon, destroy that pylon, and a couple of Zealots are going to fall, but a couple of Marines and Marauders are as well. The tanks still don't have that upgrade, so the tanks are not being fully as effective as they should be. If you're going to commit to tanks in the early game, you need to get that siege upgrade as fast as you can, because the splash damage is going to do a whole lot. While the SCVs here have pretty much been, well, no, they haven't been demolished. He just ran them off, as Shinn smartly picks up his Colossus and drops his Colossus once again. That Warp Prism is so dangerously close to going down, but that Colossus is going to be able to take down these Marines that are here. Both are in dire straits as their health is pretty low, but that Colossus gets out nice and safe as there are no other Marines here to try to help out that Colossus. And so Shinn is once again being pushed on again by Pmak, who does now have the tank upgrade, but is choosing not to put his tanks in siege mode. Another Colossus is going to come down here to try to help this expansion from going down, but that Colossus looks like, actually that Colossus gets out safely, as these tanks are not focusing the right Colossus down, but they do manage to take out the old one that was already a bit injured. As this Colossus here, oh, that tank just went out of siege mode for some odd reason, as the Colossus was going down and does not have a chance to fry it down. That Colossus survives with only 6 HP even, not even 8, 6 HP. So for the third time, Pmak's forces have been wiped out, and he's not able to actually even do any damage to inside the base. But he does force the cancellation of the Nexus that was down here, and it looks like Shinn is going to be trying to put it down once again. It slows down Shinn's economy just a little bit, but at the same time, Pmak doesn't even have his expansion. He doesn't even have any other expansions going on, so he is mining out this base here rather quickly, as these harvesters are going to be working on these mineral patches a lot